my colleague for his speech, but I find it interesting. He's talking about the price of food increasing, but he doesn't do the simple basic math. It's the policies of his government. When you tax a farmer and you put a tax on fuel for farmers to take the food from the field to the farm, and you tax truckers to ship it to the grocery stores, and then you put a carbon tax on the fuel for the families to go to the grocery stores to buy their food, well, it's no wonder food is expensive. It's the policies of this government that are outright making food more expensive. So to my honorable colleague, you know, maybe if you made it so that if you took away the carbon tax and it was a more competitive environment for our farmers to grow in, instead of competing with other countries around the world who don't pay this carbon tax on the things that they grow, perhaps maybe we'd see groceries decline, the prices decline in this country. So would you comment on why you're making it so hard for farmers to grow food to feed families in Canada?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Of course, that's the narrative that Conservatives are playing all the time, and they want you to believe that. But how about this one, for instance, Mr. Speaker? Ukraine was growing 15% of the world's grain. And what happens when that all of a sudden stops? Do you think that the price of grain is just going to increase by 15%? If you know even just the most rudimentary understanding of economies and free trade and the global economy, you will realize very quickly that that price is going to shoot up very, very quickly. So for Conservatives to come into the House day after day and try to paint the picture as though this is strictly a problem that exists within Canada is just not true. I started my speech by giving the statistics on that and letting the House know exactly where we stood in the world. This is a global problem. If you're going to just look, Mr. Speaker, day in and day out about how this is a problem, and you're just going to look inside Canada and not look at the global problem, you're never going to come up with the proper solution, because you're never even recognizing the real problem.